Welcome back, everyone, to the Truth and Freedom podcast, where awakening begins with asking the question most people are afraid to ask. I'm your host, Dr. Dan Amzallag, and this is not just another podcast. This is a journey into awareness, courage, and truth. Now, in our last episode, we talked about emotional patterns, those invisible loops of fear, anxiety, and self sabotage that keep us stuck even when we want to move forward. So, in today's episode, we're going to beneath those patterns into the soil where they were first planted. The hidden roots, understanding core wounds that shape your identity. We will go in depth about the root cause of the how and why we feel this specific way. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why you feel the way you feel, choose the people you choose, or react so intensely to certain situation where this conversation will open a door you may not have walked through before? Core wounds are the emotional imprints left from the earliest experiences, the moments when our needs weren't met, when we felt unseen, unheard, unimportant, unsafe, or unworthy. These experiences are often subtle, not dramatic. You don't need a chaotic childhood to carry a core wound. Sometimes it's a parent who was physically present but emotionally distant. Sometimes it's a household where achievements were celebrated but feelings weren't allowed. It can be also where it's growing up as the responsible one, the quiet one, the strong one, or the easy one, which are roles that might have kept the family functioning but left pieces of you unexpressed. Core wounds are not memories, they're beliefs. Beliefs about who you are and what you're allowed to receive. They sound like, I'm not good enough, or I'm too much, or my needs don't matter, or people always leave me regardless, or I have to earn love, or something like if I want peace, I have to stay small. Now, these beliefs are so deeply woven into your identity that they felt like truth. But they're not the truth. They're stories your younger self created to survive emotionally in an overwhelming moment. Think about a child who cries for comfort, but no one comes. The wound becomes, my emotions are a burden. You can think also about a child who only receives praise when they achieve something. The wound will become, my worth depends on my performance. Or you can think about a child whose parents criticize more than they encourage. So that wound will become, there's something wrong with me. Now, this wound grows roots that extend into adulthood, influencing every relationship, every goal, every reaction you may have. And because they operate beneath your awareness, they shape your decision even when you believe you're choosing freely. These wounds are why you might fear abandonment even with a loving partner, or why you might expect rejection even in a safe relationship. They're why compliments feel uncomfortable and why criticism feel like a personal attack. They're why you may have felt guilty for resting or ashamed for needing help or terrified of disappointing others. Core wounds echo long after the moment that created them has passed. And here's what makes them so powerful. They don't just influence how you see the world, they influence how you see yourself. You might think you feel failure, but what you really fear is confirmation of the old wound, which is, I'm not enough. You might think you fear conflict, but what you really fear is the wound that says, if I upset someone, I'll lose love. Or you might also think you fear commitment, but what you really fear is, once they know the real me, they'll leave me as always. These are not present day fears, they are echoes from your past. But just like any root system, once you uncover it, you can begin to change it. You can begin to challenge a belief instead of obeying it. You can begin to question whether the story you carried for years actually belongs to you, or whether it belonged to a child who didn't have the tools, understanding, or support to interpret their experiences differently. Now, one of the most important steps in healing core wounds is acknowledging that these beliefs were created in a moment where you didn't have context. As a child, everything felt personal. If a parent was stressed, you believed it was your fault. If someone didn't show love well, you believed you weren't lovable. Or if you were ignored, you believed that you weren't worth noticing. Children don't think my parents were overwhelmed, traumatized, or preoccupied. Children will think something is wrong with me, and that becomes the root. But here's the truth. Your core wounds were responses to your environment, not reflection of your identity. You were never unworthy. You were never too much. You were never a burden. You're responding to the emotional limitation of the people around you. So when you finally understood this, the old belief begins to lose its power. Healing does not mean erasing the past. It means giving your young self what they never received, which is compassion, understanding, validation, and safety. It means saying that part of you, you didn't do anything wrong. You deserve better. And I'm here now. Now, when you do that, something remarkable happens. The adult, you stop operating from fear, and the child within you finally stop carrying the emotional weight alone. As adults, we try to heal core wounds by changing our behavior, by forcing confidence, by repeating affirmation, by pushing ourselves harder. But the true healing happens when you understand the wound, when you name it, when you see the moment it was formed, and when you realize you no longer need that old belief to survive. So once you see the root, the pattern above, it can finally change. As we close this episode, I want to ask you one thing. Now, is there a belief you've carried for so long that it feels like part of your personality, but deep down, you know it might be rooted in an old wound? Maybe it's the belief that you must stay stronger no matter what. Maybe it's the belief that your needs don't matter at all. Maybe it's the belief that you always have to earn your place. Whatever it is, I want you to sit with it, not to judge it, but to understand, because understanding is the beginning of liberation. Thank you all for joining me on this episode. So on episode 4, we'll explore the why we attract what hurts, breaking the trauma bonding loop. Definitely an episode you wouldn't want to miss. Very informative and enlightening. Until then, my friend, stay awake, stay grounded, and stay free.